Russian President Vladimir Putin has urged civilians to leave the city of Kherson as Ukrainian troops advance in the area. The statement is the latest signal that Russia's military may be planning to withdraw from the occupied Ukrainian city.
It may not look like it, but this river could soon be on the front line. Here, Russian soldiers are assisting residents from the occupied Ukrainian city of Kherson, crossing from the right bank of the Dnipro to the left. According to troops here, around 1,200 vehicles and 5,000 civilians are being transported every day, and it's suggested that they may be about to do the same. A signal, perhaps, that Moscow is ready to give up ground in this war.
I think potentially the Russian army is ready for another act of goodwill regarding the left bank of the Dnipro, just in the area of the city of Kherson. But for this, they will still have to take losses due to the response of our armed forces.
In Moscow, no official word yet on the withdrawal of troops to the left bank. Instead, President Putin seemed to be enjoying festivities to mark Russia's Unity Day, a national holiday to celebrate a popular uprising against Polish and Lithuanian forces in 1612. This year, the focus was also on the annexation of Ukrainian territories, with some young volunteers given an audience with Mr. Putin, where he explained why people are being told to leave Kherson.
Those living in Kherson should be removed from the zone where the most dangerous military actions are taking place. The civilian population should not suffer from shelling, from the offensives, counter-offensives, or any other actions connected to the ongoing military operations.
Liberating Kherson city would be a major victory for Kyiv. These Ukrainian soldiers digging in for the winter in nearby Mykolaiv know they may be told to head that way soon. But there's a feeling here that any offensive will be complicated, and they will need more supplies and weapons if any assault is to succeed.
For more, let's bring in DW's Russia analyst, Konstantin Egard. Konstantin, the Ukrainian military says what the Russian forces are doing is feigning withdrawal in order to launch an ambush. Your thoughts?
Well, you have to be on the ground, Michael, to assess it. But I think it's possible. But at the same time, I suppose that it may be a situation which the very bad situation for the Russian forces is being sort of plastered over or camouflaged by humanitarian concerns. It is also clear that the Russian army probably will not leave the area without some kind of fight put up. So I think to avoid civilian casualties among the population of occupied territories, which is now proclaimed by the Putin regime to be the Russian territory, they are pulling people out. Also, I think, Michael, there is another consideration. Depopulating Ukrainian territories, essentially moving Ukrainian citizens out of these areas, is a kind of soft population transfer, which is in certain terms is a war crime.
What would it mean for the Kremlin if Russian forces were in fact forced to retreat from Kherson?
It will be a defeat which will be discussed and which will be noted by both the generals and the Kremlin elite or the ruling class, whatever you care to call it. At the same time, it will not be a catastrophe for Vladimir Putin. I think the only real catastrophe that he will not survive will be the loss of the Crimean Peninsula, and that is pretty much far off if it will ever happen, of course. But this will be a very significant blow because Kherson is actually the only major city that the Russian army managed to capture since launching its all-out invasion on the 24th of February. So yes, it is a significant and, what's important, very visible setback, which will be difficult to kind of plaster over, even by massive Kremlin propaganda that's being loaded on the minds of the Russian population.
And the story continues As always, Konstantin Egard, many thanks.
Thank you.